during the rainy season, he couldn't live in the Himalaya because of terrible, tremendous cold and rain and all that. So he came back to Benares, to his old city, settled down in the Royal Park. It was a very huge park. Part of it was used for all kinds of pleasures and games and all that. Another part was just quiet and calm. There was a grove of sala trees. He went and settled down under one of these trees, and he was happy. He used to go once a day for his alms round, and he lived like that. One day he was passing through the house of the commander-in-chief, and he saw him, and he was so pleased. He went and invited him inside the house and gave him the dana and heard his dharma and so on. So that is how he was living. Now one day the king thought, well, I am going to enjoy my park. So he went with all his women folk, and then he chose one of his favorites and lay down on the stone couch over there in the park itself. So this lady, on her lap, he slept off. Then he was fully drunk and absolutely bad. So, after a time he suddenly woke up and he said, oh, these ladies now, when they thought he had about more than 50 ladies, all his concubines. So they said, well, you see, and the dancers, he had asked the dancers to come and dance and entertain him and so on. So when he slept off, they all said, oh, come on, let's have a round. You see, when he is not there, well, we don't need any entertainment anyway. So they went about and found this monk sitting under a tree, and they said, come on, let's hear a little Dhamma from him. So that is how these ladies sat down, and the Bodhisattva gave a discourse on the virtue and benefit of enduring patience, and is known as Khantivada Jataka, most inspiring, most uplifting Jataka story that anybody can read. It is the Jataka 313. Very wonderful story indeed. Those of you are interested, please go through. So here, as he was teaching, this drunken king got up suddenly and found that nobody was there. So he asked the favorite, hey, where are these women gone? And she said, well, they are just going about, they are hearing some Dhamma, I think, and all that. What? Dhamma? What is this Dhamma business? I am going to teach the lesson to that fellow who is giving Dhamma. So he went there, all enraged, went right in front of the monk and said, hey, what are you teaching? He says, oh, Your Majesty, I was just, talking about the virtue and the value and the benefits of enduring patience. Oh, so you believe in enduring patience, huh? He said, yes, Your Lord, I do. She said, let me test. You are preaching, so whether you are practicing it, let me test it. And he asked one of his police, one of those jalhas, says, come on, beat him up, 200 lashes. So this guy went on hitting all over his body with a leash, with a powerful, dandam, and he was bleeding all over. So all the other people there, they were so mortified, but they were absolutely afraid of the king. He was a militant, dogmatic, dictatorial, mad monarch. So they dare not say anything. So he was beaten up thoroughly. Then he said, well, you still believe in patience? He said, yes, Lord, we do. Your Majesty, yes, I do. Then he said, hey, cut off his legs and hands. And this fellow cut off both legs and hands. Hey, You still believe? He was pleading profusely. He said, "My Khanti, your majesty, my patient does not lie in those cut off limbs which are drenched with blood. No. That Khanti dwells in my heart, and I wish you happiness, your Lord. May you be happy." He said, "What? You still try to, you fake your this thing, huh?" Then he ordered him, he said, "Cut off his nose. Then cut off his ears." Torture after torture. And yet the Bodhisattva remained calm and patient and very forgiving indeed. So the king got so angry, he says, "Finish him off." And then, "You still believe in it?" "Yes." "Then where is your patience?" "It's in the heart, Majesty. It's in the heart." So he said, he just got up and gave a kick on his heart. He was lying, of course, flat on the ground, and then walked out with his women folk. As he was going near the gate of the park, suddenly the earth split, and he just fell into that split like a big earthquake, a very strong earthquake, and he was sucked into this split earth. And straight away he was reborn. He died and reborn in hell. Then and there he got the result. So powerful was the evil deed that he attracted only that kind of suffering. The result was that kind of suffering. Meanwhile, the commander-in-chief went there. He said, "Come here. Now the king has gone. Let's go and do something to the venerable monk." So he got water, he got lotion, he got all kinds of things and applied and washed him nicely and bandaged him and said, "Venerable sir, I seek pardon for all the people in this kingdom, for all the horrible things the king has done. Now please forgive the kingdom. Please don't curse anybody." He says, no question of cursing, Commander. May you all be happy. May there be peace. And then he passed away. So now this Khantivadi Jatak, you see story, he told this young monk, he said, "Hey, this is what happens if you are not patient, if you cannot endure suffering, or abusive words, or beating, or any kind of ill treatment or injustice or whatever. If you can't do that, you have to pay a price, heavy price. So don't believe in resentment and revenge. The philosophy of revenge, hitting back, is absolutely perverted and brings nothing but unhappiness and sorrow." Now this attitude in the Buddhist world you can see. The Buddhists, wherever I went, when I first of all went to Ceylon after becoming a Buddhist monk, I was surprised by the amount of patience, by the amount of goodwill and friendliness among the people. And this I saw everywhere in Burma, Thailand, everywhere. So they consciously and deliberately practice endurance, forbearance, forbearing patience. Now patience or forbearing patience can be, applied in so many other ways with very different motivation. Now for instance, a office worker, he is troubled by his officer, who is a bully. And he has to be very patient. "Yes sir, yes sir, yes sir." But he is not practicing patience out of love or out of any high philosophy. He says, if I say anything, I will lose my job. So out of fear he uses patience. Or in the family, you fight husband and wife and all that. They have some vested interest, each one. Therefore, they have to apply patience. Or elsewhere, in 100 different ways, you see people do practice patience. But what is the motivation behind? There lies the secret. So, as one believing in the philosophy of non-violence and non-reaction, patience and enduring suffering, you see, this pays. Now, here in India, for instance, hundreds of temples were all taken away by sectarians and turned into their own temples. Buddhists never went and fought, and they never complained, they never went and said, come on, a movement and burn their temple and this and that, as it happened in Ayodhya. Buddhists never did that. The result, the Dhamma has come back again. Hundreds of monks were put on stakes in South India, in Madurai. They never thought of any revenge or anything. So it pays. History also shows that ultimately enduring patience, that is the one thing that will triumph. It is hard, it's not easy. But Nibbana, if you have Nibbana, spiritual freedom, the goal of your life, you have to invite hardship. There is no other goal. But it is a kind of hardship worthwhile passing, because once you undergo, you practice enduring patience consciously and deliver it as a mode or as a philosophy of life, not as a reaction, not with any other worldly motive. Then this patience pays, and it is very pleasing indeed. It brings so much of joy at heart. You feel triumphant every time you are patient. With this I conclude. May the blessings of Bhagavan Buddha, his teaching and Dhamma and Sangha surround your lives with abundant enduring patience. With abundant metta, may you all be happy and well.